Montgomery County Board of Education has been embroiled in the middle of allegations that MCPS ignored allegations of sexual harassment complaints prior to promoting Joel Beetleman, to principal of Paint Branch High School. Cary, this is a pretty big issue. What can you tell us about this?
Oh, I love this. The word I use for Montgomery County, and I love Montgomery County, but the word is dysfunction. The reality is here, their policy. First of all, they hire an attorney to review and provide input on what went wrong, and then the attorney comes back and says, "Well, it's practice and policy that we don't really inform the school board or the superintendent of schools or administration when we have an anonymous complaint or an informal complaint." And he had a report. They have a form called 39-230 or something. I can't remember. But unless a teacher files that report out using the right document, right? They don't review it. And guess what? The Good Old Boy Network, the politically astute semi-politician who's a principal, they get rewarded. They move up the ladder, whether you're a coach, whatever. The schools don't look at the negative actions. They only look at, what they've done for them lately. We've got a real problem.
I'm kind of surprised that there's not greater enforcement or attention paid to complaints, that came out. But Laurie, the law firm of Jackson Lewis, whom Cary mentioned, was hired to investigate the school board and on this matter, and as it was reported earlier this week. And according to the public summary, Beetleman was promoted even though there were allegations of harassment, that MCPS failed to take appropriate action, but it exonerated the school board from any malfeasance or negligence. So is this the end of the matter? Is this kind of just going to be whitewashed over the decks and forgotten?
I hope not, but it is a pattern that we've seen over the years. We've seen time after time after time sexual harassment issues from teachers, from administrators that have just been swept under the rug. Even though it gets public attention for a little while, it sort of wanes. It was a problem when I was a PTA leader. I remember having, there was a principal who was really should not have been a principal in the classroom for many reasons. And when she finally got pushed out of the school over a number of years, she got promoted to headquarters. And I learned at the time that there were no exit interviews that were given by all the teachers that had left the school. There were a lot of teachers leaving the school because of that principal. And nobody was asking the teachers, why are you leaving? And they weren't saying, oh, the principal's just doing a horrible job or whatever. So if you could just do exit interviews of the teachers and make sure there's no retribution if they say something negative. That's another thing, because I think teachers are afraid to speak up. But exit interviews and sharing those interviews with anyone hiring throughout the system needs to be transparent so that when those people are hiring someone, they know what they're getting. They often don't know what they're getting, and often headquarters may not know what they're getting. They just think, oh, this is someone who's moving up from, but I think there is a general understanding that that's what happens to a lot of people. They get moved up when they're not working out in the classroom or in the administrative position.
Well, what we need is greater accountability, why we have an inspector general for the county government. Why aren't these matters being investigated by the inspector general?
Cary. I have to interrupt here. I mean, it's a culture of how we do things in Montgomery County. You have to go along to get along. Teachers
that's a good point.
They're afraid to file a formal complaint. So they do go the informal route or anonymous route. And then that gives the school board and the superintendent the veil of cover saying, okay, I don't have to even look at the complaint because it's anonymous, right? Let's reward this guy because he's politically astute. He's he's a good old, go along to get along kind of guy. This is not how we do government. But it seems like that's how we're doing. We did it with the planning board, and we always forgive them afterwards.
Yeah.
It's got to end. This culture of closing a blind eye unless they go along to get along, and I get to look good and get a bigger paycheck. I'm sorry. Our kids deserve better. Our families deserve better.
Well, let's remember, we've been run by Democrats for many years now. Maybe it's time for people to start electing some Republicans.
One party rule is never good, regardless of.
It happened though prior to
the party is.
Let's not go there.
You need somebody to act as a counterbalance, and unfortunately, with the lack of news outlets, it's harder and harder to have independent investigations. That's why we need great programs like here on Montgomery Community Media, like 21 this week.